Hi everyone, this is Sylvia McCrory at Christian Parenting Today, and I have a book that I would like to share with you, and it is probably the book that I give credit for inspiring um, the first book that we are writing at Christian Parenting Today. I have authored a book along with Melissa Wingfield about education in America. The title has not yet been determined, but it is due out in the fall, so I will keep you posted on that. However, today I want to share with you this book called Screen Schooled, and two veteran teachers expose how technology overuse is making our kids dumber. It is by Joe Clement and Matt Miles. I recommend this book so much. It is a game changer for me. It is a book that I want parents to know about. I want parents to talk about. I want you to read this book, and it will lead you to further questions and investigations about the American school system. I cannot stress it enough. So, as you see, I have lots of bookmarks in here because there's just so much I want to share with you, and I can't do it all, but please go buy this book. So, just to get you started and tell you just a little about the book, it is two teachers and their observations as they're teaching school about what children are doing with these smartphones and these cell phones that we are convinced they cannot live without, that they have to have because we like them. So we want our kids to have them. And because the kids, when they're on their cell phones, we know where they are and we can see them sitting across the room with us, but we have no idea what they're doing on that cell phone. And there's just so much we don't know. We don't know who they're talking to. We don't know who they're texting with. We have handed children a tool that is damaging them, that is harming them intellectually, harming them emotionally, and harming them physically. I cannot say that enough to parents. It is my soapbox. But anyway, let me get back to what I want to say, and also about digital devices too. They are also doing the same thing. So let me get back to this book, and this book has led me to other books. When I'm doing my research and at Christian Parenting Today, I am in the process of writing our second book, which deals a lot with technology and what's going on and what children are doing. So as I do my research, it's books like this and their references that cause me to look at other books and to dig deeper into what they're saying. So anyway, let me just kind of start with some of the things that we think that we know. We think, and I am a retired teacher, so I bought into it because I was sold this bill of goods that this is the new generation. We need to have technology. Kids need to be on this technology. They need to be using it consistently because that's the way of the world. Well, no. No, 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 no. All right, so we think that they need to be digital natives, that they need to grow up on it. However, instead, we are having to dumb down everything for children. What has been determined is that children, when they're using these devices, and you need to think about yourself too, if you're reading something online, your mind is more with just getting to the end of it, or you're scrolling and you're not paying much attention, or we want to just glance at it. We don't want to really read sentences and think deeply, and that's what our children are doing. For us, for most of us. Now, I'm speaking of myself, but for people that are in their 30s and above, well, technology, they people are liking it and thinking, okay, it's great. I use it on my job and I can stay connected. Well, we are not being totally informed about everything that's going on. And the other thing is technology has been rolled out so quickly, and there have been so many new apps developed that safety has been a minimal concern of these companies. What is the big concern is the money. How much money they can get from us and how quick they can get our children addicted, and that is correct, I use the word addicted, to their apps, their programs, so that they can continually get them to buy their products, to buy their upgrades, and keep them hooked. Okay, so it is dumbing down our children because our children have very low attention spans, and our children, they want to be entertained. Well, and for some reason or other, we have also been told that teachers need to entertain children. That if children are not where we are, we need to get where they are. Well, guess what? They have an attention span less than the length of a commercial. And if you do the research, you'll find out that a commercial, a TV program, every few seconds, and I mean seconds, they have to change the scene, change the position, because we want to move faster. We don't want to stay in one place too long. We like that stimulation. So let me get to some of the things that that has been brought out in this book. One of the things is communication skills have been worsened through technology. And when you think about how children communicate now, they communicate online with someone they do not see. Face-to-face communication is practically non-existent. As a matter of fact, children will text with someone on the other side of the room before they will get up and go talk to them. And they may say they're doing it for privacy, but children have a hard time looking someone in the eye. Now think about what that's going to do to them when they grow up and when they hit the real world and an employer wants to hire them. They might have some skills, but if they cannot look someone in the eye and carry on a conversation with them, then they are already at a disadvantage. So communication is one of the things that is big for them. Another thing that it has taken away from our kids, this technology, is we no longer allow them to have make-believe. Everything is right there for them. There are, in case you didn't know it, there was a device developed for children to have an iPad or an iPhone or a device in front of them as infants so that they can see these images scrolling by their eyes. So long term, what happened is parents may have allowed that because it distracts the child. It keeps the child quiet, and mama can do something else, and dad can do something else, but what is going on with that child and the child's brain? And that's what this book is talking about. As the child's brain develops, it needs, and an infant especially, needs to be able to feel things, to touch things, to reach for things. As that picture's scrolling by and they're just kind of seeing, their brains cannot even imagine what that is. They probably have not had an experience to know if it's animals. They probably have not had an experience to know what an elephant is or what a tiger is or any of the things that might be on the screen. The other thing is children have a hard time differentiating reality from make-believe. So if it's a cartoon or if it's something that's doing damage or harming someone, they don't know. And then back to, as children grow, especially infants, they need that three-dimensional shape in their hand, object in their hand. If they pick up a block, then they can see the size, the shape of that block, how thick it is, how heavy it is. There's a lot they can determine just by picking up a block that they cannot tell by looking at it on a screen. Other things, texture. If it's smooth, if it's soft, they can determine that. But back to the blocks. Suppose they are trying to stack blocks or to make a building. Well, they will soon find out how high they can stack them before they will fall apart. They will soon discover how many blocks, or if the blocks are going to fall, if they make a second stack and those blocks lean against each other, how to do that. There's a lot. There's a lot of area. There's a lot of perimeter. There's a lot that children learn just from playing, and we have taken that away when we put a computer and a program, and I don't care how great that program is, right in front of them. They are not getting to have those experiences, and we have bought into that system. And I'm sorry I sound preachy, but I just cannot get this word out fast enough to parents. Parents, don't let these commercials do this to you or your children. And I also encourage you to find other parents and group together and start complaining, start asking questions. Another thing that has been determined is there has been a very significant rise in ADHD and ADD since children have been put in front of these devices for so long. And that has to do with the way the brain is stimulated and overstimulated, and that the brain is not given time to rest. Which brings up another important thing that we need to discuss, and that is it's okay for children to be bored. It is fine for children to be bored. It is healthy for children to be bored. Children need boredom so their brain can settle down, so they can regroup their thoughts, and so they can create something or devise something. Now, boredom is not to be confused with being lazy. Lazy is when you just don't want to do something, but boredom is when your brain just needs time to regroup. Parents, we have bought into, and this is an old myth, and I don't know how far it dates back, that there's something wrong with children being bored. No, it's not. Boredom has been one of the driving forces that has caused people to create things, to invent things. Let children be creative. Let them come up with their own ideas. Okay, so let's talk more, though, about what you probably do not know. And I'm not going to get into everything or read everything that I have for you, but I just want to tell you some of the things about these devices and what's going on. In the school systems, we have Common Core in the United States and Common Core from the perspective of parents, parents think, well, that's so that if children move from state to state, then everybody's going to be on the same page. Wrong. Wrong. That may or may not be the case, but Common Core has created a lot more problems than it has solved. So I do want to share with you, and not just Common Core, I'm also talking about standardized testing. Now, when you think about these two things, and our children on computers, we think about Bill Gates and Steve Jobs as being probably the leaders in the field of technology with their creativity. However, what most of us do not know or do not realize is both of them were raised in an age where there was not technology, and yet they were able to create the technology. And then the other thing, and the thing that you should know and research because it's true. Bill Gates, he had strict restrictions on technology with his own children. He did not allow them to freely use technology. He knew the dangers. Also, Steve Jobs, he did not allow his children to use technology. He knew the dangers. He expected his children in the evenings when they had dinner at the dinner table to talk about classic novels or something they had been reading from a book. These two men that we hold in high esteem for being so knowledgeable and such geniuses in this world of technology have not told us what they did in their own homes and that it's not good for children. If it's not good for their children, why do you think it's good for our children? Guys, there is danger, and there is big danger there. Now, also, I've got to say this too while I'm on the subject. The executives in Silicon Valley, they do not send their children to schools that emphasize technology or standardized testing. So all of these people in Silicon Valley that are working on these apps, that are creating all these programs, they know the dangers, and they send their kids to this school, a majority of them, and these schools are, there's several throughout the U.S., called Waldorf School. Waldorf School not only does not use technology, Waldorf School frowns on it being used at home. They do not use standardized testing, and you need to go and check out their website, check out their curriculum, check out their philosophy about technology, but they understand that if their students were to take a standardized test, they would probably be below grade level in lower grades. However, by upper grades, their kids excel. Now, what's the difference? They understand that children need hands-on experiences. They understand that children need to dig deep into subjects. Common Core and standardized testing has only allowed kids to brush the surface of certain subjects. And get this, folks, Waldorf School teaches knitting. That's right, knitting like grandma and great-grandma used to do. Knitting to their students as a way to learn math, to learn problem solving, and to accept mistakes, and to accept trial and error, to figure things out for themselves. So please, please investigate this. But if this is not a red flag to you, I don't know what it's going to take. I've got one more big point to make to you that this book has made. And this one is real important. So when you think about these standardized tests, and you think about technology today, do you know who the real winners are? It's not our kids. It's not about our kids. It's about the glorified dollar. So the winners are the testing companies, because the school systems have to buy the tests. And the more states that buy these tests, the more money they make. The other winners are the technology companies. The more the schools need to buy these Chromebooks and iPads, and the more they need to be wired, all of these tech companies are gaining money. It is billions and billions of dollars invested in this, and this goes all the way up to the president and Congress, because it drives our economy. When you think about it, and you think about our big companies on the stock market, our big tech companies, and the money that they make, if they did not have the school systems, and if they did not have the overflow of the school systems from the families and the parents buying into what they are saying, they would be hurting. So guess what? We have been duped. We are being used, and our children are being harmed. Buy this book. Read it. Share it. Talk about it. Spread the word. And there's going to be lots more books that I am going to share with you that need to be warning to parents. And before I leave, I want to just share one passage in the Bible. And this is from 1 John. And the passage is 1 John 2, 15. I think I'm going to read 15 through 17. Do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For everything in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride in one's possessions, is not from the Father, but is from the world. And the world with its lust is passing away, but the one who does the will of God remains forever. Guys, it's hard, but try to get that backbone to stand up to the world and pull your children away from this harmful, destructive things that are going on. Start conversations, contact us. We will give you as many resources as we can, but it's time that we wake up and see what's really going on. Have a great day. Go out and let God be seen through you and what you do. See ya. Bye.